Hi guys, welcome back to Beyond the Sups. I'm Meg Liggett as always, and I have a new guest on our product review. This is Chris Liggett, and he is actually my little brother. So welcome to the show, Chris.
Yeah, super excited. I've been here for how many years now? It's the first time on the show, so about time to get me on the show.
Yes, Chris has been in sales for 4 years now.
Yeah.
Worked with a bunch of brands, and so he's actually the person that gave me my first pre-workout years ago. So all kind of comes back down to family at the end of the day. But today we have a new product we want to review. It is the Onnit Alpha Brain pre-workout. New product for Onnit. As all of you guys know, Onnit has a lot of ingredients, a lot of science behind their products. They go really deep into the nootropic side. They have a lot of different form factors of the Alpha Brain. This is a new SKU for them. It's a pre-workout. It comes in 2 flavors, a yuzu peach and a tiger's blood. Chris and I have actually had the luxury of being able to take it for the past 2 weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
They launched not too long ago, and we have some really, really great things to say about it. So let's get into the review. Right now, you'll see on their label, it is full transparency. And the way I like to kind of look at this product is into 3 big buckets. You'll see a lot of cognition, performance enhancement, and then also energy. So the first couple ingredients we'll talk about is that performance enhancement side. You'll see first on the label is beta-alanine and citrulline at 2.4 grams. So you're going to see those 2 ingredients used really closely together to build a lot of that, decrease that muscle fatigue, build up that vasodilation, increase your carnosine levels. And so for me, beta-alanine, really sensitive to it, but at the 2.4 grams, you're getting that good clinical dose as well as 2.4 grams on the citrulline. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, like Meg said, I've been taking it for about 2 weeks, which is great. I've been taking it first thing in the morning, actually, and I've been loving it so far. I'm sure a lot of people who've had Onnit or heard of Onnit has definitely heard of the Alpha Brain. I mean, it comes in multiple product formats, from capsules to stick packs. They even have several different formulation versions of Alpha Brain, but this one's very exciting just because they're looking to launch a pre-workout, which I was actually the most excited for. I've been waiting for months to actually see this in a bottle and ready to try before the workout. But I definitely think the benefits of this one too, I mean, most people who take Alpha Brain are definitely focused around or using it for like cognitive focus throughout the day. So I think it still gives you that benefit, but also with the added energy for workouts.
Yeah, because your typical workouts, you'll see beta-alanine and citrulline. You're wondering, why do I see these ingredients, right? In your muscles, you have carnosine, and the more carnosine you have, the decrease in your fatigue. You're going to be able to have less lactic acid buildup or that burning sensation where you're going to be able to do more reps. And citrulline is a really interesting ingredient. I recently read a study that taking citrulline, you're able to actually have a higher output over more workload. So as you are doing more of your exercise, you're actually able to feel that your fatigue is decreasing throughout the end of your workout, where maybe you feel a little bit more tired. So that's part 1 of it. Second part, Chris, I kind of touched on it a little bit, is that mental focus and that clarity. Mm-hmm. That's kind of Alpha Brain's bread and butter, right? And so what are some of the ingredients in this product that lead to that? You're going to see it's the ashwagandha. It's a trademark ingredient, no ganda, at 225 milligrams. Really big on the cognition side of it, that mental focus and that clarity. There was a study that was done on about, I think it was 30 males at a college. They were taking it, and what they did start to see was a increase in mental clarity, increase in short-term memory, and also a decrease in mental fatigue. So that's really important, especially for a product like this, where if your goal is to get into the gym and have that like tunnel vision focus, that's what you're going to see here.
Yeah,
on top of that...
sorry to cut you off, but I think on the new Ganda is definitely a more like innovative ashwagandha, right?
Yep.
That we usually see, especially within trademarks, like you might see in another type of product. But I think really the focus here, right, with this trademark ashwagandha is to really help with enhancing the, your overall like focus and nootropic aspect to it.
Yep. Yeah, like that more sustained attention, right? And so
pretty cool. I mean, I haven't really seen that ingredient quite often in products, especially in a pre-workout.
Definitely up and coming.
Yeah, very.
So excited to see more science that's going to come through on that ingredient. On on top of that mental focus, I think another big part of a pre-workout is that like mind-muscle connection, and you're gonna get that with the alpha GPC, the alpha size. It's in at 125 milligrams. And alpha GPC is a really cool ingredient. It's an advanced choline, and if the best way for me to describe it is, when you go into the gym, you're like, I want that mind-muscle connection where I'm thinking about my legs doing this workout and I'm feeling it in my legs, or I'm starting to feel it in my arms, or whatever that may be. That's what this ingredient is really helping, and that's one of my favorite things about a pre-workout. I'm personally not into high stim products in general. I'm more about getting in there, having that time to myself. I have a goal. I want to, be able to focus in on it and then see what my body's able to do and really work all of it together. Not just my muscles, not just my endurance. It's my thought process. It's my mind. It's all of that, put together. And so I think this product is kind of grouping a lot of those things together. The other big ingredient on that is Dynamine. I actually love Dynamine. It is a trademark methylliberine. It's in at 50 milligrams. And Dynamine is a negative allosteric modulator. So what does that mean? Everybody's really familiar with ATP and how it's one of the most important things for a lot of systems in our body. When you have ATP, you have 3 phosphates. As you start to do work or to have energy, you start to lose a phosphate. So you go from ATP, and you go to ADP, and then you lose another one. Now you're AMP, and eventually you just have pure adenosine and phosphate. And that makes sense throughout the day, right? When you are awake and then you start to do things throughout the day, you're using energy. And towards night, yes, of course, you want your adenosine to be built up so that way you start to feel tired, then you can go to sleep. Probably not ideal in the middle of the day or when you're wanting to go for a workout. You don't want to feel that sense of tiredness. And so what Dynamine is actually doing is not necessarily blocking the receptors for adenosine, but it's making it less sensitive. So you need to have an increase in adenosine to then feel that tiredness. Yep. So when you have Dynamine paired with caffeine at 200 milligrams, caffeine does block adenosine receptors, but now you have a Dynamine that's making that sensitivity a little lower. Now you're kind of being able to see that your crash that you would normally get from a caffeine isn't so prevalent. Right, and so it's really interesting combination between those two ingredients. Dynamine is one of my favorite types of ingredients. So when you're starting to have those pairings, you're getting that really clean source of energy alongside the theobromine in here at 100 milligrams.
Yeah, I think for me, the 200 milligrams of caffeine with the 50 milligrams of Dynamine is kind of like that sweet spot. I'm not super huge on like heavy stimulants, but I definitely want to have it in there for my pre-workout. So I think for those who are just kind of like, they want that energy, but don't want to feel super jittery. Yep. Or just like extremely like awake. Yeah. Or just even sometimes if I take too much caffeine, it even hurts my chest. So I think 200 milligrams is kind of like the perfect,
Funny that he says that, because caffeine, what it does is it does like constrict your blood vessels. And so when you take theobromine, it's actually very similar to caffeine. It structurally, maybe we can put a picture here somewhere. Yeah. Structurally, it looks almost identical, except that caffeine has an additional methyl group. And that one little change in it does make it very different. And so what theobromine actually does is it's really good for your heart and things like that, but it lowers your blood pressure. And so your caffeine, which normally increases it, then there's a study that when it was taken together, the blood pressure actually didn't change at all. Theobromine on its own decreased your blood pressure. So it's, now you're starting to say, sense. Right? Like, oh, my heart hurts, or like I'm feeling these like weird things. Yeah. Now you're having these ingredients where it's really very carefully thought out. The formula, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
right?
And it's great too, because like I said in the beginning of this one, I take it in the morning. I don't want to have a massive dose of heavy stimulants. So I think it's just overall it's very clean. Yep. And be able to just set my day up, just to help start the day, workout, and be able to have that like extended, energy throughout work. Exactly. And then not have that crazy crash that you might feel too.
Yeah. So overall, this product is, if you're looking for something that is good for mental focus and clarity, a good like sustained clean energy, not high stimulant, good performance enhancement, you'll get that vasodilation, all of that stuff. This is definitely the product for you. If you're looking for high stimulant and like crazy, like itchy, type of like you want to like scratch your face off, probably not the product for you. But I do think that, if you're going in there and you are wanting to have, this is my gym time, I have a goal and I want to be able to be completely focused on it, absolutely. It is naturally flavored, naturally sweetened. They taste awesome for all the ingredients that are in here. There's a lot of polyphenols in there. There's a lot of bitter ingredients. You have your herbs and things like that. So for a naturally flavored, naturally sweetened, it actually tastes amazing. And it's 20 servings per container. You can find it on their website, on onnit.com. But they have a whole line of Alpha Brain different products. So if you guys are interested in us reviewing the other Alpha Brain SKUs, let us know in the comments below. And yeah, we'll be here.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, we'll see you soon.